Disney, you canceled Ashoka for this? What's going on, people? What's really good? It's your boy Marv, and this is the Nerds in the Hood. Folks, we gotta talk about it. I wanted 2025 to just be all about exciting new content, exciting new shows, exciting new movies. I want it all to be valid. I wanted everything to be fire. Just fire entertainment, fire anime, fire video games, movies, music, whatever, right? But we can't have nice things. Something gotta be basura. Something gotta be trash. Something gotta be basura. Something has to make me say, nah, this ain't it. And I think we just stumbled upon it. And that is called Goosebumps, The Vanishing. This is a sequel series, so to speak, or second season to the first season of Goosebumps that premiered, I believe, early last year, basically a year ago, on Disney Plus. This is crazy to me because when I grew up in the 90s, I'm an old head. I ain't gonna hold y'all. This is year 40 coming up. When I was growing up, Goosebumps was a very popular book series, and it branched into a popular TV show series, and later became a pretty decent movie series with Jack Black. When the TV shows came out, right? Just to focus on TV shows since Disney Plus is doing their thing with the TV shows. When the TV shows came out, it was an anthology of different tales. It was different tales based on the books, from what I know. And a lot of them were designed to, teach you some lesson, but also kind of leave you in a bit of a nightmare state. Make you kind of go to sleep at night and be like, did that really happen? Was there a dummy that was like tricking the kid? And did a boy just shrink a family because they didn't know how to be good hunters? Like, it was just different things that you had to think about. Like, even that episode where, like, I still get bugged out when that episode where, like, the kid, what did he do? Oh, like, he had a dream that, like, it was something about ants, and then, like, he realized that the whole time he was living in a world where ants were like the overlords or whatever. They were like humongous, as big as humans, and they were the ants. Like, that bugged me out. Like, there was different, no pun intended, there were different types of stories that were freaky and crazy and really had you sitting there going, yo, this is wild. And I thought maybe in my mind, I said, yo, maybe it's because I'm a kid. Maybe as a kid, I'm looking more into it than I should. And I really took the time to believe that until I got older and Disney Plus decided to revive the franchise of Goosebumps and make their own TV show. They got the rights. They said, we're going to make a TV show. We're going to make this work. And the first season kind of almost went that way of, the books. But it told just a story that really kind of fell flat. And the whole just Gen Z vibe and kids really kind of being more adults than they were kids, it just didn't work for anybody. But that didn't stop Disney from making another season. Oh, no, 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 no. When you look at all the other quality entertainment on Disney that they decided to up and cancel, at the end of the day, they decided to give this another shot. And they got David Schwimmer, the legend of Friends himself, to come on the show and, play a role. He was basically the star of the show. Everybody else was actors you probably seen before, but you ain't really know. And he was the star of the show. Just like in the last season, they had people you kind of knew before, but Justin Long was the star of that season. This season is David Schwimmer. If you didn't see it, if you did, the spoilers ahead, but trust me, you ain't gonna really care. So, long story short, this was just a show. This season was a story about just basically a man who was basically obsessed about the disappearance of his brother and some of his brother's friends when he was growing up. And the only two people remaining in his crew of him and his brother was his brother's ex-girlfriend. So they was the only two. Now they're middle-aged people with kids. And this guy, David Schwimmer, is the guy I'm talking to about. His character in the show is named Anthony. They also nicknamed him Stink for some reason. I don't know if it's because he had BO or whatever. 90s nicknames was weird. So they called him Stink. He probably never stank, but they called him Stink anyway. So he lived in New York. They all lived in New York. They was Brooklyn kids, whatever. And something happened in the 90s that caused a lot of them to get like just vanished, just snatched up. He survived, and his brother's ex survived because his brother's ex ain't go with him. You find it out later in the show. Flash forward to today, 2024, in this show's period, and they finding uncovering all the truths about what happened. You find out it was aliens that had something to do with this. Aliens was taking over, you know what I mean? And they was in New York since like the 60s, and some lady was trying to stop them, but she didn't do a good job. And she tried to revive her father the way he tried to revive his brother, and it all just got crazy. And at the end of it, they thought they got rid of the aliens by shooting their ship back to wherever planet they came from. And then one of the kids who was abducted by the aliens, like recently in the episodes, ends up like spitting up another alien, starting a whole new race of aliens. I didn't really explain all of that because I didn't want to go into full detail. But at the end of the day, on paper, that doesn't sound crazy bad, right? What makes it bad is that a lot of things just didn't really make sense with it. Like, for example, these are supposed to be aliens, but these aliens also like were kind of like half plant monsters, and they were carnivorous, so they could eat people, right? But when they ate people, I guess they like kind of, it was weird. Like they would take over their bodies, but then turn around after they took over their bodies and then put them in a pod. And then when they came out of the pod, the human host would spit the aliens back up so they could become new monsters. Or like they start out as plants and then bloom into monsters. It's very, very weird. What I don't like though is also like if they just focused on the freaking story, this would have been all right. I would have had a different conversation with a different form of energy. But the reason I'm annoyed is because they I know this is the Gen Z era. I know this is Gen Z, and this is their time. This is the springtime of their youth. To sound like my man Guy Sensei, this is their time. I get it. I'm an old man. I'm a millennial. I'm in the past. Whatever. Now, this is Gen Z's time, right? But my thing is, you don't need to force it in the show. Just let them be them. Or get some Gen Z writers. Get some kids who can write. Get somebody in their 30s at least. It felt like you got me to try to assume what people today talk like. And it didn't work. Also, never in my wildest dreams did I think Goosebumps would have the most fire soundtrack for a scary TV show. The old Goosebumps in the 90s had not a scary theme song, but it was a catchy theme song, but with a scary vibe. It was like boom, 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 boom. And then in the back, somebody threw the beat on like you still bust a freestyle, but know that there was a ghost behind you. You know what I'm saying? It was that kind of vibe. They went for that with the intro. But during the rest of the show in the 90s of Goosebumps, right? During the rest of the show, it was all scary music. It was all designed to freak you out and creep you out. Goosebumps on Disney Plus just decided, how can we get Gen Z to watch this show a lot? I know. Let's just throw on some of the hottest tunes of the past 5 years, and maybe people will come and watch this show. And that's exactly what they did. Childish Gambino, Thundercat, Sabrina Carpenter, 21 Savage, just to name a few, or some of the artists whose music was used in this show, and they did not need to be used at all. Like, granted, there was a scene where they went to the park where two of the kids. So Anthony's character has kids, and his kids come over for the summer because he's a divorced dad, which I will get to in a moment. But he's a divorced dad, and he gets his kids for the summer, and they come through and chill, whatever. And they go to the park to meet up with other kids that they used to know from the block when they was younger before the divorce. So when they get to the park, the kids are playing Espresso from Sabrina Carpenter. That's okay. It was the summer of 2024. During the summer of 2024, that song was one of the top songs in probably the world, right? That's okay. I'm okay with that. But in 2023, they flash back to a character having a party in an abandoned building, which they later burned down for reasons that I'm going to also come to. And they were playing Red Rum by 21 Savage. I'm also not really mad at that, but I was kind of mad at that because it's like, this is Goosebumps. Goosebumps. There should not be any of this type of fire ass hip hop on this show. I'm just being real. Why did I hear two Childish Gambino songs from two different albums? His last two albums, for that matter. It was just like, what are we doing? What are we doing, Disney? The reason I said I want to get to those other two scenes is because they made me laugh in a funny way because one, David Schwimmer's character is a divorced dad, right? Why is that crazy? Because in the last season of Goosebumps, majority of the parents in the first season was divorced. And I get it. Maybe in today's world, there's more divorced parents and there are parents who are together, and that really does suck. But you can't use the same trope in both seasons. Come on now. Why he had to be divorced? Why couldn't he have just been in a strong relationship with his, like, he could have just lived in Brooklyn and just had his wife, and him and his wife could have uncovered it, or his wife could have been somebody who grew up with them too, and they just like fell in love or something. It could have been that, but for some reason they were like, "Nah, he got to be divorced. He got to be divorced." Like it just makes sense that way. But then, hey, there was another character. Remember what I said? His character's brother had an ex-girlfriend. She was divorced. She was a single parent. There's too many of them in Goosebumps. We don't need all of that. That doesn't make it scary. Like, matter of fact, the show wasn't even freaking scary. There was nothing about either season of Goosebumps that scared me. And that's when I thought to myself, okay, maybe because I was a kid. But then I realized, no, maybe it's because I was a kid that was watching a show with better writing. Just saying. Just saying. So the other thing that made me laugh was there's another character on the show. I think her name was Ashley or something like that. But there was a girl on the show named Alex, right? I didn't mind this character. She was a kid, troubled kid, unfortunately, went and served time in juvenile hall. And according to the story, she served time in juvenile hall for a crime that she did not commit. Her mother, unfortunately, is also a cop. And that cop and the mother that we are talking about is also the ex-girlfriend of Anthony's brother. Now, why was this scene funny? So they cut back to 2003 to explain her backstory, right? All of them kind of had a backstory, more or less, but they went to explain hers. They want to explain her reasoning in the show altogether. Now, her backstory, long story short, was that, you know what? I'm just gonna say. So she was at that abandoned building I was talking about. They was playing Red Rum. They was having a good time. For some weird reason, she brought M80 firecrackers to the party. She didn't need to bring them firecrackers. They was doing just fine without them. But she brought them to the party in an abandoned building. First off, I'm from New York. I've never hung out in abandoned buildings with any of my friends for any reason ever. I've never, ever, ever in my life decided, yo, we should go into that abandoned building and just hang out. No. I've never done that. If you watching this and you done it, that's your life. Live your life. But for me, no, sir. No bueno. Not now. Not ever. So they are chilling in his abandoned building. She brings the M80s. One of her friends, his name is Marv. He finds the M80s. He's like, oh, snap. Yo, you got M80s? Yo, I heard this could blow somebody's fingers off. Which is like, whatever. You get over it. until your man dares somebody to play chicken with him with the firecrackers and says, yo, hold the firecrackers in your hand. We're going to duct tape your hands. You know what I'm saying? If you hold on to the firecracker longer than I do, I give you $20. These dudes was risking their hands for $20. So your man goes, I bet, run it, let's go. He put the duct tape on. The dude that he challenged quickly thought about it and was like, I ain't about that life, bro. $20 ain't worth it. Throws the firecracker away. Firecracker blows up. They laugh. He goes, haha, you owe me 20, bro. Haha. Now this dude Murph is like, oh snap, yo, I can't get the duct tape off my hand. Alex comes to save him. They throw the firecracker into the curtains. The curtains erupts in the flames. Everybody runs out. Somehow, some way, ladies and gentlemen, Alex is the only one that got caught, which means she is not built for this life, one, and that's okay. But two, why the hell was you bringing M80s to an abandoned building to chill? You had some type of plans. It was some type of plans. That don't make no sense. Why the hell was you in an abandoned building anyway? Then her mom pulls up, right? Because the cops call her and nobody else. Her mom pulls up and the cops was like, yo, she down bad, fam. We found this bag full of M80s. She still had more M80s in the bag. Why did you bring more than two? And it was like, yo, all this is her. Your daughter's wilding for respect right now. She down bad. You deal with it. We just wanted to let you know before it got real because we're going to have to take her in. Mom comes up and was like, yo, I'm so disgusted with you. You be wilding for respect all the time. You know I'm a cop. You got me looking bad out here in these streets. And she looked at her mom and was like, yo, just let me go. I'll explain in the car. We good. You was entitled, fam. You thought like, nah, I ain't going to get in trouble. I'm good, fam. So then she goes, all right, so then tell me what happened then. I'll let you go. Tell me what happened. She looks dead in her face and she couldn't say nothing. She goes, yeah, that's what I thought. Why? Because she ain't want to snitch on her friend. Okay, cool. I give you that. Now, her mom goes, yo, go talk to the cop. Nothing I could do about it. You on your own. Breezes on her, leaves her to go to juvenile hall, leaves her to serve time in juvie, comes back, does community service. Now she hates her mom. Why? Oh, you couldn't get me out of juvie. You let me in there. Fam, you didn't snitch on your mans. You didn't give your mom any chances to help you. And you brought M80s to an abandoned building where people was just chilling. You deserve to be in juvie because you're an idiot. You deserve to be in juvie. Fuck out of here. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You gonna blame that shit on your mom? No, you. Then she spent a whole episode trying to track Murph down to be like, yo, tell him you did it. Murph ran off. He was like, nah, fuck out of here. Then they got to a crazy car chase. You just gotta see the episode. It's crazy. One of the, it's just crazy. But anyway, the whole point of what I was trying to say was it was stories like that that didn't need to happen and didn't make any damn sense. This alien had the power to like vape through different things and just like, because it's a flower, blossom and bloom all over the place. So it took over like people's bodies, which made sense. But then it was taking over inanimate objects like cars, which didn't make sense. It was the car crashed and then it repaired itself. Come on, man. This don't make no types of sense. The freaking alien like was inside a girl's body because she accidentally drank it. And he like weirdly found his way, the alien found his way out of her body and became a blob and then tried to kill her on the elevator. This show, I can go on and on and on about how bad this show was. But I think you get the picture. This show needs to be canceled. I don't normally say that because I ain't about people losing their jobs and stuff like that. But it's just, oh, sheesh. The show was bad, ladies and gentlemen. And the reason I bring it up is because just last year, one of the biggest shows on television was called Ashoka. It was a Star Wars show set in the Star Wars universe. Everybody was talking about it. I ain't a Star Wars fan, but even I had to give my props. Rosario Dawson was killing it. Everybody else in that show was killing it. And Disney decided, we don't need another season of this. We good on Star Wars. We did what we can do. We'll bring some other stuff back. We got Skeleton Crew coming. We got other seasons come. We got Mandalorian movie coming. We good. We good. But you canceled Ashoka to give us a season 2 of Goosebumps? Granted, Goosebumps season 2 story was way better than season 1. And they were actually in New York. I remember I was doing my job, brother got paid bills. I was working and I was in the streets walking down the block and they was filming one of the scenes where they were in a coffee shop right at the same time I walked past. But they had blinds down so you couldn't really see them. But somebody had New Yorkers know. You go up to them and be like, yo, what y'all filming over there? They'll tell you, oh yeah, we doing Goosebumps. And when I heard they was doing Goosebumps that day, I was pissed the fuck off. I was like, don't do this whack ass shit. But I couldn't tell homie that, so I just walked off. But I'm saying that to say that this show is never going to get any better. It's always designed to be some type of Gen Z BS. And they want us to focus more on the drama that happens outside of the aliens coming through Wild 'N Out than inside with the aliens coming through Wild 'N Out. There's aliens. They're taking over people's bodies. They trying to body people, and y'all concerned about relationships. Y'all concerned about your families and all this other stuff. It didn't make sense. The last 3 episodes were probably the best 3 episodes of the whole series because it's 8 episodes, and episodes 5 through 8 started making a little more sense. They even have a somewhat of like a moment where it's almost as if like they're paying homage to the Blair Witch Project, because even though this is 2004, the story starts in 1994. And then they do a backstory to 1968. But the story really starts in 1994. So because it was the 90s, they did a little homage to Blair Witch, even though the story was in 94 and Blair Witch came out a few years later, it still was very impressive. That was like the best part of the whole show, was when the girl had the camera and she was doing a first person view and was running away from the monster. That part was dope. That part, if they just kept doing stuff similar to that, I would be speaking so highly of this show. But you know the rating system, and this show ain't it. Nah, this ain't it. This show is terrible. It is one of the worst shows I've seen on streaming television so far. And a lot of them already got canceled. So why isn't this one canceled? I don't know. Maybe it's because they put all the money into paying artists like Sabrina Carpenter and Childish Gambino to play their music in their shows. Maybe. Maybe it's because they want to focus on making this a teen drama for today's generation. Newsflash, Disney, we already got a lot of those already. And a lot of these teens are watching shows that I should be watching, like The Bear and Shogun. So they're not paying attention to this like that. But this is truly one of the worst shows I've ever seen. It's just a bad taste. It's just a bad, just disrespectful to Goosebumps, man. R.L. Stein is somewhere like just like swinging in the air, like Cuba Gooding Jr. and Boys in the Hood. He is pissed. I just generally did not like this show. It was trash. And like I said, there was bright spots, but they weren't bright enough to shine the darkness of doo-doo that was overflowing in this show. And I never want to see, like, if there's a season 3, I might watch it for shits and giggles, but I don't know if I really am. I really gave this one a chance because I thought they was going to learn from the mistakes of the last season. And they did it. They still gave us similar stories, divorced dads, all this stuff. At least they was really in New York. At least they was really on the block. I'll give them that. But other than that, it really just didn't matter. Take the money that you were going to probably use to make Goosebumps season 3 and give it to Ashoka. Give it back to Ashoka. Think about that. I like them. Like, there was a show they did for the Mighty Ducks, right? It was called Game Changers. Season 1 was pretty cool. It was almost kind of like a softer Cobra Kai. They brought back Coach Bombay. He helped them coach the team and be great again. It was fire, right? Then season 2 rolled around. They didn't bring back Gordon Bombay. They didn't even use him. They just used like a lot of the same returning characters except him, and had these kids go to a hockey camp and really did nothing all summer. We just saw one of the main characters' moms fall in love with a coach, and it was pretty whack. Oh, it was so boring. And Disney did the right thing and canceled it. So why won't you do this with Goosebumps? Do it with Goosebumps. Bring back Ashoka. Bring back other fire shows that deserve to be brought back. And get rid of this. I'll take another season of What If. And I'm not saying that to knock What If. I'm just saying, like, come on. What If gave us an episode where Howard the Duck and Darcy from Thor hooked up and had a child? That was better than Goosebumps. I'm done. I can't say no more. I'm getting goosebumps because I'm getting pissed. So I'm done. This has been Nerds in the Hood. Link trees in the description. Follow us on social media. Check out the content I'll be making because it's fire. It's better than Goosebumps seasons 1 and 2. Goosebumps gotta go, y'all. Write in the comments if you like this. We can argue it out. I don't care. I'm with the shits. I'll see y'all later. Marv Black, Nerds in the Hood. Peace out till then. Goosebumps was so bad. It was so bad.